So how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good. Jesse, it's so great to see you.
It is so great to see you. I love seeing you. You're just the easiest, most positive person.
That's you.
It's so fun. Stop it.
No, honestly, we you and I are always like exchanging emails and just texts and everything, kind of like supporting each other, showing up to each other's events.
So you have a new show, Christina Milian Turned Up.
Yes, all the way.
So what's it about?
Well, man, my turned up crazy life. It's my my mom, my sisters, and I, and my friends. It's really just it's really. I mean, it turned into a family show for sure. About us on our journey in life. You know, we're Cuban. We've come a long way. We've had a lot of ups and downs. We know that we're gonna struggle and go through great successes, all that stuff together, and we support each other. So
that's so
it's
great.
really about that. It's about my music career, me coming back with my music again, which I'm excited about.
Do you feel like this is a comeback? Because I feel like you've always been rocking and working really hard.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely am going hard all the time with just overall business, but I do feel in a way this is like a comeback because my last album was released in, I don't even want to mention, but we'll call it a comeback if that's the case. I'm signed to Lil Wayne's label, Young Money. And,
how well, do you know Lil Wayne?
I know him very well.
Like, how well?
Like, good enough. Like, yeah, we have a song together. We have a couple songs together.
So how do you say his name? Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne.
I think something's going on with you two. Lil Wayne.
I think we have great chemistry. I think we have fantastic chemistry. And when it comes to music, that's all that matters.
Where
sometimes.
do you have great chemistry?
In the studio, on the stage. I mean, I think just overall, when it comes to chemistry, that's just something that happens all the time.
What happens exactly?
Oh my goodness, Jesse.
First of all, before we get into all of the millions of things you're doing, besides the show, which is like a job for most people on its own.
Honestly, it really is.
Yeah. What motivates you to work so hard? Because you work so hard. I think people don't appreciate that. You're always working. You have like 10 phones. You're like, always emailing. I just feel like you also follow up, you execute, you do what you say, and I think that's a very admirable quality.
Thank you.
So what motivates you and drives you to keep working so hard?
Well, I'd have to say, after years and years and years of being in the industry, I used to kind of go about things in a very traditional sense where it was like, oh, you want to do something, you have to present it to your agent. And then after that, your agent's going to bring it to some big corporate company if they like the idea. If not, they're going to just sweep it under the rug. And your idea's out the window. It's great and all, but there's a million ideas out there. And that was the answer I was constantly getting before I became the entrepreneur that I am today. In the meantime, I'm watching, people like, at least for me, I'm a musician, so I look at people like Puff Daddy, 50 Cent, I look at J-Lo, even Jessica Simpson. All these people have kind of stepped out of the box and they created their own path for their careers and what they wanted to do, and it was really out of passion. And I'm a very, very passionate field person, so I got tired of making pitches to people that really didn't have the same passion for my ideas that I did. And I said, okay, instead of investing my time into these people and wasting my time in these ideas, why don't I start investing my own money into my ideas, find the right people that had the same passion, but also just having my daughter.
I always forget you have a daughter, and she's so cute, and you post
awesome.
The cutest pictures of her on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like
little
obsessed with her.
girl.
What's her name?
Violet. Violet is inspiration for me because the second that I had her, it was like, okay, it's do or die now. Like, I don't have to wait for anybody else because at the end of the day, I have to feed this little girl. She's got to go to college someday, and I have to show her that what kind of woman that she could be, So I think like after it was like 11, 12 months or like her first year that she was born, I took some time off and I was like raising my daughter. I just wanted to be a really great mom. And then I finally said, okay, the energy that I'm putting into being in this bed right now, laying down, I can commit to actually picking up my phone, answering my emails, answering my texts. I can't blame anybody else for my success but myself. My first business that I really went into was my hookah business. So Platinum Me Hookahs was the first thing that I started, and I started that without anyone. I was like, no manager, no nobody. I'm just gonna get this started, and if anybody has something to say about it, well then they can say it later, but they'll say it when I'm on my way to success.
Right.
And that business started it all, and then from there it was like one thing after the other.
What's it like being an entrepreneur?
Oh, I love it. It's draining sometimes, but there's nothing more fueling than that. I'm very passionate about what I do. Like, I don't put my name or become part of a business of anything that I don't feel like I don't want to share that lifestyle. It's not something that I would live.
Right.
And if I'm not going to put like a full 1,000% into it, then it's probably not worth me giving that time. I wanted to make sure that I can be really good at each thing that I do. So it's been one little step at a time.
You know, there's so many women out there who want to fill your shoes one day. What is one piece of advice you have for a woman who's hoping to be an entrepreneur like you?
I think my biggest piece of advice is don't be scared to invest your own money. I think that's the biggest fear. People are afraid of the word investment and stock and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be very fearful. But when you hear stories about like somebody who invented ketchup or something with $10,000, or you hear about the Hot Pockets guy, and he's like, I only had $10,000, and you know my kids liked their food rolled up in bread. I'm like, you hear that and you hear how simple it is. It's very powerful to actually take your own money, and whether it's a small amount or you go to a bank or whatever the case is, or you get other people to kind of get involved, it'll fuel your passion. It'll fuel your drive for what you're doing far more than waiting for something to happen. So I think I was very fearful of investing my money, and when I realized, okay, I probably spent $1,000 on some Louboutins. I could have used that $1,000 towards saving that, you know? I mean, you have to it's choices. Balance it out a little bit more, and you'll find that you'll actually have some money there to be able to get something started.
I love that piece of advice for, you know, especially for women to invest their money. Men are known to be more risk-taking with money, and women don't take risks. And even these women who are running billion-dollar companies right now, they've worked their way up the corporate ladder, and typically they they're still afraid to invest their money because they worked their way up that ladder as opposed to being this entrepreneur. But you're seeing it pay off.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit more fearless.
Yeah.
And this day and age is like everything moves so fast with social media, all this stuff. It's like you got to keep up, and you got to be willing to take a couple risks.
I think we should open some wine. What do you think?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Let's pop some.
What flavors do we have?
Bottles.
So this is our Moscato, pineapple and coconut. This is my favorite flavor.
And this is pomegranate.
Ooh, and that one's really good too.
Okay.
So here we go.
So we open it?
You out. Yeah. So we just take this right here.
Are you, now that you own a wine company, are you like an expert in popping bottles?
Oh yeah, especially my bottle.
So, this is multitasking with Milian. First, we're going to drink the champagne, smoke the hookah, take a selfie, and then Christina has taught me a twerking move, which I will attempt, and then we're going to twerk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's sideways. Twerk your booty sideways.